Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining
Hey,
episode
thanks
with
for
my
having me.
client, Sarah of Bryson
Before
Bookkeeping.
we jump
She
into
initially
kind of your
had
website,
a
can you tell
website
us
that
about your
she had
business
DIY'd
and who you
and
work with and
then
kind of
handed it
the
off to
background of
somebody else to
everything?
design.
Sure,
But when it
absolutely.
came
So,
down to it, she
my
realized that
business
it
is
did
Bryson
not
Bookkeeping,
really fit
and we
her,
offer
her
both bookkeeping
personality.
services
And
and
as she was
CFO or financial
transitioning
advisory
to
services. We
niche down in
specialize
her
in
business, she
therapists,
wanted
but
a
ultimately
website
we
that
like
was
to help
going
people who
to
help people.
target
So
those
we
dream
have several
clients
people in a lot
and
of different
really reflect
industries. As long
who
as they
she
help people,
was and
we're
give her
there
a
for them.
website that she was proud to
How did
share.
you
I'm
get
really
started in your
excited
bookkeeping business and
to
then
have
transition
her talk
into
about the
mostly
VIPA
therapists?
process and what
So
it's
it was a
been like
complete
since
accident.
we launched her website.
I was working a day job as a secretary, and we got credit cards, which is,
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining me
hey,
today.
thanks for having me.
So, before we jump into kind of your website, can you tell us about your business and who you work with and kind of the background of everything?
Sure, absolutely. So, my business is Bryson Bookkeeping, and we offer both bookkeeping services and CFO or financial advisory services. We specialize in therapists, but ultimately we like to help people who help people. So, we have several people in a lot of different industries. As long as they help people, we're there for them.
How did you get started in your bookkeeping business and then transition into mostly therapists?
So, it was a complete accident. I was working a day job as a secretary, and we got credit cards, which is weird in and of itself because this is the 2000s. You'd think a business would have credit cards by then, but they didn't. But they got them, and but they said the accounting department's not going to take care of this. Find someone. So I was like, oh no, I'll do it. This is going to be awful. And they literally, my training was they handed me the login information and a chart of accounts. And they're like, there you go. I'm like, well, then let's figure this out. But it turned out to be really fun for me. It just made a lot of sense. It clicked. And that was my favorite part of the job for a decade. And then I said, well, maybe I'll do like a little side hustle, right? But it was not long before that side hustle, just as this is what I should be doing. So quit my job, went with that, served a lot of different clients. And while working with all the different clients, it just, the therapist kept coming back to the forefront. It was just one of those things that just kept coming back in my life. And I said, okay, universe, I hear you. So that's how I decided to niche specialty with therapists.
That's awesome. And I feel like that's a good niche because those people are so focused on helping others that they can tend to not think about their own business.
Yeah. And then they also have a couple special considerations when it comes to HIPAA regulations,
Mm,
payment processing. And then, the majority of software out there is not HIPAA compliant. So for the bookkeeping, they have a couple extra things that they need to keep in mind and be careful of. And it's definitely a group that doesn't really take time for themselves. And then the bookkeeping keeps getting pushed back and back and back, and then becomes a big stressor for them. So it's really awesome to be able to come in and say, nope, I got it. Let me take that off your plate. And then we can just check back in with them, make sure they know where their books are. And it's really, really fulfilling to see people have that extra time in their lives and the confidence of knowing that it's okay to not worry about it.
so I wanted to talk about your website, but let's talk first about what you had before. How did you get started with your website? How has that changed over time since you started your business?
Absolutely. So when I first launched, like I said, it was just going to be a side hustle. So I'm like, here's like a website, whatever, I didn't pay attention to much of anything except here's a contact form and my name. And one day someone mentioned to me, have you ever looked at your site on a mobile device? I was like, no, why? They're like, yeah, you might want to do that. I was like, oh, oh, that's bad. That's like, it was an illegible mess. Like it was terrible. And this person said, hey, I do websites. So if you'd like for me to provide you with a website, I'm like, you know what? I think that's a good idea. So moved over to them. Things were taking longer than I expected to get done. from the time I signed on until I actually got the first draft of the new website was close to a year, actually. They'd asked a couple things about what I wanted, and I said, well, I'm okay with, the colors and the general layout. I just want it to be mobile friendly. But I wound up getting completely new website, and I can understand why they went the way they did. Is they wanted it to be very general, very business friendly. They
Mm.
were looking at the general needs of a business, and a little more corporate in the way that they created my website. But that didn't quite match me and my personality, and it just wasn't me. It was a website that I'm like, well, I have a website, but it's a website. It works on the mobile devices. And so it was one of those things that I just kind of knew I needed something better. I just didn't know who to go to.
So, how did you find me and decide to work with me to make this update?
Sure. So the first thing was I had been trying to get new copy for a
Mm.
website for a long time. And I thought, okay, if I can get my copy, then I can figure out how to have this person redo my website so that the two can really go hand in hand. Because I think with a website, part of it is the visual design and appeal. But if you don't have the copy to go along with it, then you really only have half of the solution you need. And so I reached out to someone I knew who was absolutely amazing, Jennifer Kerfman with Untamed Creative. And we talked, and she said, by the way, I'm getting a new website from Lemon in the Sea. You might want to check them out. I'm like, all right, let me check them out. And I looked and I was just like, I love all these designs. Each one had this really lovely, clean element to them. Nothing was, you go to the website and you're like, I don't even know how to get to the next page, right? Or you're just continuously scroll and scroll and scroll because it's the one page website. Or it's just a cluttered mess and you don't like your eyes can't settle on anything. But they were all clean. They were so easy to navigate. And I said, you know what, this looks really great. And so I set up a call with you and we went over the process. And I was like, you know what, this sounds like a much better fit for me. And I love all the designs. So I moved forward and I'm so happy I did. So happy.
Yeah, Jennifer actually messaged me and she was like, I have this client and she might reach out to you. And we were very excited to work together because I love the way that she writes copy and I knew I could
Amazing.
bring that to life in her design. And it was so much fun to like work with a copywriter who's so good at what they do.
She is amazing. Yeah. Like when she was doing my copy, she was asking questions I'd never thought of. The same with when I was going through your questionnaire to look at my website. I'm like, actually, I've never even thought about that. What do I want for this, or what do I want for that? So it was really, really great to have someone else who could think of the things that I didn't even know I needed to consider, so that I could stop and go, oh, actually, that is important, isn't it? Well, let me think, how do I want that to look, or how do I want this to sound? So it was just really, really different from any other experience I've had working. Like I said, the other person was just like, okay, we'll do a new website. So it was completely different. It felt a lot more collaborative.
Yeah. So other than that, was there anything that stood out with you in the process that you liked about that really stood out as far as working together?
So I would definitely say the questionnaire. And for me, I am the type of person that I like to just get in there and get it done. So the fact that I think it was more than 30 days
Mm.
to start working on it, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I can take my time. And if I want to review what I've put in and I changed my mind because I saw something else, I had plenty of time to go through that. But also for the people who maybe wait a little bit longer to meet their deadlines, you did have helpful little reminder emails that would come out occasionally, like, hey, just a reminder, we've got this much more time beforehand. But having all of that time for me was fantastic because I really did take my time to make sure that everything I had submitted was submitted correctly, that I checked all my boxes because I'm a box checker. I'm one of those people, like, I love lists. Um, and so for me, that was huge. That was fantastic to have the time and to have the ability to push it back if I needed to.
What was your favorite part of the VIP day itself when we were actually doing the design?
I think for me, the most exciting part was how quick it was. Like, I mean, I know it's a VIP day, but it really was just so fast. And I'm assuming a lot of that is because you've been looking at all the information,
Yeah.
but really it was I logged on and I just made sure I was near my email throughout the day. It wasn't a constant barrage. It was just, hey, boop, here's your first rough draft of this page. How's it look? So that I had plenty of time to take a look. And if I didn't like an element or something felt odd or I wanted to try a different color, there was plenty of time to do that. But I mean, it really was like, here's your first page. And then within maybe a couple hours, it was like a full website that was done instead of, like I said, with another person, it took like a year to get everything. It was almost like a Christmas morning. You like open the present, you're like, oh, I got a present. And then you're like, oh, I got some more presents. And you keep opening all these neat little presents. And it was exciting and really rewarding to see the work and effort that I had put in to start out really coming to fruition with the end product that really was just, here you go. Here it is.
So what results have you seen from your new website? How do you feel now? Have you had any new clients or any of those other kinds of results from it?
So far, when it comes to clients, no. It's only been up for a couple weeks, not really a full month. And I'm sure as time goes by, I will start to see. I also didn't even have any analytics on
Hmm.
my previous website. So, but now I do have analytics. So if nothing else, I can go in and see. That's huge for me to be able to look and see, hey, people are accessing my website. Here's where they're getting it from. Here are the devices they're looking at it on. And that has been huge. That's been such a wonderful update for me. And the other thing is showing I'm happy and proud to show my website to people now. I'm like, hey, I got a website. Take a look. And uh, all of my colleagues, everyone who's seen the website, who knows me, they say this website is you. This is you. Like every page is you, and I see you and I hear you, and it's so easy to navigate and it's beautiful. And I've had some people ask me, so who did your website? So that's been really rewarding knowing that can track
Hmm.
now and I can see where traffic's coming from. And as far as the SEO type side of it, that's going to take time. It's not an overnight now you're on the first page Google.
Right.
It takes time for those analytics to start driving you up. Um, but I'm 99.9% sure I am definitely going to see myself starting to raise in the Google searches now that I have keywords and especially a website that is aimed more at my target audience rather than a completely broad audience.
Yeah. And we were able to, your copy includes your keywords that Jennifer
Mhm,
did. And then we also took that and added it to the SEO kind of on the back end. So over time, all of that's going to come together and you've got a good base set
mhm.
up. And then you've got a blog set up so you can use that you need, and that always helps. So it really is like giving you the foundation to continue to grow.
Yeah, and I already have a subscriber to my newsletter, which was brand new. The newsletter was brand new. And I'm like, no, it's gonna subscribe or whatever, it's there. And I already have a subscriber. So that alone shows me that it is definitely making progress and definitely getting more eyes on me.
So, what advice would you give somebody who is thinking about working with Lemon in the Sea, especially in the VIP day process?
I would say to really look at your schedule and block days out. If you're someone who, for me, in my schedule, I have work on the business days. And I have those blocked out specifically because if I don't, the rest of the work just kind of bleeds into
Yep.
everything. So I would say, get that ready. I would say, get your copy ready first. if someone else is providing your copy, because so much of that copy is going to flavor the website. It's like that extra seasoning that the website needs to really flow. And I would say get your copy done first, you know, maybe 30, 40, even 60 days ahead of time, just so that you have it, you know, it's good, you like it. Then look at setting up your VIP day. Make sure that you block out as soon as you schedule that day, block out that day. And I would even say block out the day before, just in case something comes up and you need to do X or Y or Z. Just make sure that you have the time set aside, because you don't want your VIP day to come and have you not be ready for it. You want to make sure that throughout your time you've been able to, maybe, because like I said, it's a thorough questionnaire.
Yeah, it is.
This isn't a, hey, do you like puppies? Check yes or no. It's it's going to be a lot more involved. You have to provide your copy for every page. How many pages do you want? Do you have a newsletter? Do you have a blog? Do you want these different things connected? And you provide all of that, but it's up to the client to make sure you have all the data and all the resources so you can provide that. So if they aren't taking the time to take it seriously and make sure that they get you all of the information, then you're not going to be able to provide them with that website, you know, just like that. You're going to have to say, hey, here's what I could do,
Right.
but I still need some more. So it really is just be proactive, set aside the time. I know it's much easier to do a chill with the Netflix day, but it is important to get that information over.
Yeah. And your VIP day can be pretty chill because at that
Mhm.
point, your work is done. Like all you're doing is giving some feedback and I'm doing all the work. Give yourself enough time ahead of time to get it
Mhm.
done in whatever way works best for you,
Mhm.
then hand it off.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was, I think we had maybe 3 or 4 emails total that day. And the first one was basically, here's the start. How's it look? I'm like, amazing. And that was basically it. And then, you know, the other emails were just kind of checking in, making sure that I liked the balance. I know there was one where on my particular browser, there was one part that just looked really
Mhm.
wide. So I just, you know, filmed a quick Loom video so you could see what I saw. And, you know, and that's a thing, is my browsers aren't necessarily the same browsers you use or that other people visiting the site might use. So it's always really great to be able to view it on different browsers, on
Mhm.
different monitors and different screens, so that everybody collaboratively can make sure that this website looks exactly the way you want it to look.
Yeah. And that's what I love when my clients can send me like a Loom video because that way I see what they're seeing because even though I've checked it on different devices, it can still look different on different people's things. So it's always helpful for me to see what you see and then
Mm,
I can make adjustments.
yeah. Yeah. And like I said, it was so simple and easy. It was like I was just kind of sitting here, almost I was expecting to need to do more, if that makes sense. I'm like, all right, she's going to need me to do this, or she's going to ask for these things. And nope, it was just, hey, does it look cool? Do you have any changes you want? Do you have any edits? It was basically a day where I just went through emails and just, oh, hey, I've got a new email from Lemon in the Sea. Cool. Let's go take a look, film I mean, literally, I think maybe my Loom videos were 2 minutes and mostly me just scrolling through the website so you could see exactly what I saw.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm excited
Yeah.
to see as, we get further into your website being live now that that's all finished, how things go and really like watch as those analytics come in and make sure that it's doing the job it's supposed to be doing.
Oh, I'm sure it will. Like I said, if nothing else, this is the first time that someone asks for my website and I'm happy to give it to them. Like, heck yeah, here it is. Check it out. Isn't it pretty cool? Yeah, it is. And that alone has just been, having a website that really feels like me, like a representation of me, is awesome. And I didn't have to do much. I did some legwork in the beginning, and that was it. Everything else was done for me. And that for me was the value, and made the VIP day totally worth it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you
And
so much for having me and doing my website.
if you feel like your DIY website is just not cutting it and you cringe every if you feel like your DIY website isn't cutting it and you cringe every time someone asks for it, let me help. You can apply now for a VIP day at the link in the show notes. Or if you just want some other eyes on your website, you can go to lemonandthesea.com/review, and I'll give you a free 15-minute review of your site to help you focus on the things you're struggling most with to make more sales and bring in more clients.